Alright, here I am to record a guide here for Quizquiz in patch 1.35. This is right after the domination release. So I've seen a number of people on Reddit, also some YouTubers, not really understand what's the best path towards becoming a Horde as a North American native. I think, not only a Horde's really powerful, but it's pretty unique kind of gameplay situation to go from the tribal mechanic early game, and then we're gonna shoot for like 1480-ish to become a horde, and that'll let us take over Mexico before the Europeans arrive, and probably even beat them to Peru, and basically just take over the entire continent, declare war on colonial nations, all that jazz. Now, if you don't know, the North American natives, they had the big patch, which was Leviathan, I believe, but there's been a kind of a few edits to them since then. So one thing is that these three buttons here don't actually work. They don't do anything. And so the only two ways to reform your religion are to border not be a migratory tribe, so you have to have the settle down mechanic, and border someone who has some kind of, what's it called? Non-tribal government. And the other way is to become a step horde. And so if you go this way where you want to border a European, typically it's going to be, and then reform off of their government type. The typical way you want to do that is to build a big federation, declare war on people, expand your federation, and then integrate your federation members via this button, and then kind of just go from there. But if you want to become a step horde, you need to be a migratory tribe. You can only be a migratory tribe if you get rid of the settle down reform. And we're going to swap over to seasonal travel because this makes migration cheaper. It also increases our tribal dev growth, which is going to be a small benefit since they nerf tribal dev. The other thing we need to do here, not just getting rid of this, we need to get to Tech 6 and then get all this government reform progress. So those are going to be priorities for us. The other thing I'm going to add on to that is we want indigenous ideas. It's a very powerful idea group, but you have to take this before you reform your religion. And so that means we need to get to Admin Tech 5, Mil Tech 6, Mil Tech 6. I save scummed a little bit here at the start. I'm going to save scum a little bit more kind of once we get going, at least for this first month, and I'll explain why. So if you don't know much about the totemist religion, totemist rulers only get one trait, but that trait is always positive. When the ruler dies, you can spend 400 Diplo to make them an ancestor, and that trait's always active. I save scum not really worried about points so much as just getting a trait that's going to be actually useful in the early game here. And any of the military traits are great. Tech cost or idea cost would also be acceptable. Maybe even goods produced, but that's going to be less so about right now and more after we become a horde. Now, actually migrating costs military power, and so we're going to focus mill here because we're going to use more mill power than admin power. I'm also... So let me just invite someone to my federation here. This person is good. And just to kind of make a point, they added in the actual number here, which is great, that tells you what federation strength is coming from. So if we don't know how federations work, whoever's the first person to invite someone is the federation leader. And then as long as the federation leader is the strongest person, you'll get people like the federation cohesion ticking up. When federation cohesion ticks up to 100, you can choose one of these, which costs 100 cohesion, and then you're going to keep ticking up. If you drop below 0, another federation leader comes about. The federation leader gets bonuses as well. And the only thing we really care about in terms of our federation advancements here is the unified war bands, which means that all of our federation members will enter our offensive wars. And so as long as we have a bigger federation than the people we're facing, we'll be able to declare whatever war we want and just have a vassal swarm win it for us. I'm going to start off here by first clicking 1 mill point. And the reason for that is because I want my strength to be higher than everyone else's, just permanently. The other thing is that's going to be tied to this province. It won't migrate with us once we start migrating. And some other people may get multiple provinces. So the other thing we're going to do here is build the manpower building the native manpower building here. Very strong. It gets nothing like this gets deleted when you reform, but it's worth it just to make sure you stay in control of your federation, keep those bonuses. The other thing I'm going to do here is take out enough loans to build another troop. With patch 1.35, there's no longer cheaper regiment cost. It used to be that it was like minus 75% or 50 or 75% regiment cost for the native government, but they got rid of that. I'm also going to make my leader mill leader. And really we want our leaders to kind of just die and cycle through them so we can get as many traits as possible and then set up a really cool religion here with a bunch of ancestors. If you don't, so this is right after a new expansion, domination, and so I don't have my UI mods, but a lot of UI mods will open up this ancestor window and let you choose more than 10 ancestors, if you don't know. I am going to bump up stability when I can, and the reason for that is we want to click all these buttons that allow us to get more prestige. And these two require us to be at stab 1. And so even, because this increases the cost of our stability, we're just going to wait until next month. I'm not going to rival anyone right away, but something I'm going to be safe scumming here in the first month for is for one of these two guys to not have an ally. And that way we can declare a one-on-one humiliate war. And I'll get more into why we're going to do that in a second. It's not just the PowerPoints. The other thing you need to do here, though, is invite as many people to your federation as possible. Now, federations are not like alliances. You can invite as many people as you want on the same day. And we just want to get as many people in our federation as possible. And in order to do that, we're just going to be stopping on any day that we can actually invite anyone and then checking things out. If you don't know, federation, like the acceptance here is dependent somewhat on whether or not people are like, if there's a rival of theirs, the distance of the federation, and the culture. So if someone was not in my culture group, all these guys are Muskegon, it's going to be even worse than the minus 20 for not being my primary culture of Natchez. Okay, Sheeta may have been the wrong one there. Kusa's a little bit better. Here. Okay, these guys would join now, so would you. And so you'll notice now that some of the rivals are willing to join. That happens essentially as you sort of grab up as many people in your culture group as possible. I think that might have been everyone. Okay. Sometimes randomly, like one of these guys that's in an established federation will try to join you too. So just keep an eye out for that. After you kind of invite everyone locally, I would very much check this window. Now, in a good situation, you get up to like 2 monthly as I have here. Really, what I would be shooting for here if I were you is something between like 1.5, something 1.5 or higher. Because the only thing we really care about when becoming a horde is getting this unified warbands as soon as possible. Yes, we might delay getting it with this, if we have less points, but a lot of the time that we're going to spend before passing this will be in this opening war with one of these two guys, which right now is going to be Natchez. And I'm just going to be transparent with you. I'm going to save scum here until I get to December 11th with Natchez not having any allies. The other thing I want to do here is stab up. I think I already mentioned that, and then pass all of these. And so, I'm going to try here to just save scum on camera, and hopefully it doesn't matter, but we'll see. So I'm going to stab up as these 3. And prestige, well, always nice. The main thing we want here is this government reform progress mission. And that'll really set us up nice to get started. I think I covered everything, but yeah. I'm gonna save scum again. We got what we wanted, which is Natchez does not have any allies. So I'm gonna save here. And one thing I want to represent here, notice we didn't declare any rivals. I'm gonna rival them right now. But we actually do have a CB on everyone neighboring us. We get tribal border feud if our tribal land borders their tribal land. But also, this humiliate CB comes from the fact that as a native with only one province, regardless if you're settled down or migratory, so as long as we don't take a second province as settled down, we also get this. You can humiliate any other native that only has one settled province that borders you. And so notice, like right now, we don't have it against these guys because we don't share a border. But anyone we border, we have a humiliate CB on. I guess I could have gone with Pakaha as a humiliate target also. Now I'm going to declare these also always as keys. I didn't mention this, but keys is pronounced, like you may pronounce this quiz, and the achievement is quiz pro quo. But this actual pronunciation of this tribe is keys. Anyway, as keys, these three guys here always rival you. I've done this start dozens of times. Even though you have multiple rivals that are possible, it is always these same three people. And I would suggest just counter-rivaling them. The reason I said that it's likely going to be one of these two that we declare on here is because Chickasaw ends up having a land force limit modifier as their tradition. And so they end up having a bigger stack than you at the start. They because they're more centrally located than these two, relatively speaking, they find it easier to get an early ally. But mainly it's the fact that their army is going to be bigger than yours. Now we're going to declare this war against Natchez. And even if we had the other humiliate CB from declaring them a rival, you should take this native one, which is marked by saying 0% prestige in the red. And I'll show you this kind of after I declare this war and we get the CB on other people. And the main reason here is that there's a little bit of a bug. If, actually I haven't tried this on this patch yet, so let's see. Where if you come here, you show strength, you're still able to take money. Or maybe not anymore. No, you can. I guess you gotta just click it individually now. But you're still able to do this. Now the other thing here, wrong button. In this opening war, the AI will always lower its maintenance a little bit on that first month. And so we have a significant amount more morale than they do. Plus our leader is disciplined, so that's pretty nice. And we're going to have reinforcements here. But my main point here is just get in there. They're going to have lower morale, even though it doesn't seem like it here. You would see this if you come look at the army quality comparison here. You'll notice that like everyone pretty much, except you, has lowered their morale a little bit. I wonder if anyone else is strict. Yeah. So everyone except you will lower their morale. So any of these people kind of will give you an easy first war. And I'm just going to save then. And we should still just win this battle, even though it's defensive terrain for them. Oh, they ran. Oh, that's really annoying, actually. We'll get here December 31st. We're going to win this. We'll get here this just to punch a little bit harder. The other thing we want here, oh crap. Well, I kind of want to just block this for now, but we're not gonna just siege this down right away. I am gonna take out. I don't need to take out loans for another troop. Now I didn't mention it before, but one thing we're gonna kind of go for here is trying to get our army tradition well above 20. there's an event. I'm sorry, I didn't pull this up ahead of time. Let me do this now. I'm going to stop recording and come back in a second. All right, went ahead and pulled this up. And so the main thing here is this event is what we want here. And we need Army Tradition at least 20. And then we'll be able to get a War Chief appointed. Yes, this rolls pretty well. So the way this works is you get a normal roll, but then you add 1 to their Diplo, 5 to their Mil skill. You're pretty much almost guaranteed to get a 6 mil leader here. And then when you sign a peace treaty with the primary leader, I think that hasn't been updated here, but it's only when you sign a peace treaty with the primary leader, not any of the secondary participants. You get this event that asks you if you want a peace chief. The actual role here is fewer points than the war chief. But the main thing that we want here is to get as many leaders as possible rolled for us. So that means we get as many traits as possible. Here, let me close this. On our leaders. This means that we get to have, as many ancestors to choose from as we can get. And so we want to get that army tradition above 20. And then we want it to stay there throughout all the time that we're going to spend. And we're going to do that specifically by just staying at war. The other thing is, people can leave your federation after 5 years, but they can only leave the federation when you're at peace. And so we're going to have this first war, which we're going to farm some army tradition here by just wiping out these individual troops again and again. And then we're going to wait until we pass the Federation Warband, Unified Warband. And then we're going to start declaring humiliate wars on people who border us through that tribal CB I talked about. That's up until we get 50 reform progress, and then we become migratory. The only person I'm not going to declare a humiliate war against is Chickasaw, because even before we actually become migratory, we can still take tribal land. And the way tribal land works in peace deals, as long as you have a settled province next to the tribal land, you can take as much as you want. So here I'll be able to take all 3 of these as long as they're not settled by him at the time. You could take them even if they are, but then you have 2 provinces and you can't become a horde that way. However, let's say I take this province here. If I don't migrate to this or settle this province, I'll only be able to take 1 province around it when I go to war with these people up here. Over here I'll have 2, like these things is bordering like any of these 3, so I'll be able to take these 2. But essentially we want to, get as much tribal land from this guy as possible. That opens up our expansion paths. We may want to declare some of these wars as humiliate to generate power points. But in general, we're going to try to migrate here, take a bunch of tribal land in this region, humiliate and get borders for people so we can have a bunch of humiliate wars going on as well, and then start coming back down here. The final thing we're going to want to do is essentially be in this province with our capital when we become a step horde. That way we border someone in Mexico. We end up being able to just easily have the horde CB on all of Mexico. It's going to be, it's over 30 years away, so we're going to be doing a lot between then and now. But just kind of letting you know where we're headed. So again, right now, I'm probably going to just not really show a lot of this. It's just me waiting here until I can say that I arrived 2 days after this thing is going to be built. Yeah, I think maybe the regiment cost thing really changed how quickly the AI is going to build these new troops, which dramatically changes the math here, by the way, like how we want to do this. Oh, come on, he left? Okay, we got a lot of tradition there. All right, that's pretty good. So we'll wait until we can wipe this troop and then head in there. So we want to get there February 11th. Some part of... Okay, I'm tempted to try to farm a little bit of prestige here. Yeah, they are building another. Because with that increased prestige from battles that my leader has, I might be able to get to 40 prestige in this alone. Prestige. Ooh, and we get a War Chief event this early. This is amazing. Now, you don't have to save scum like I'm going to do here. But I am going to save scum this just to try to show you, you know, if you save scum, you can get very busted traits. I should also make him a leader and pay attention to what I'm doing here. February 20th. So yeah, I'm just going to save scum and see what trait I get. Morale of armies is pretty much what we want. Yeah, that's perfect. That should get us into the prestige range we need. Unite the tribes, which allows us to become a migratory tribe right away. So we can no longer develop. But we're going to pass unified warbands as soon as we can. So I'm just going to skip ahead until I take this fort. March 1447. So again here, we can both show strength and take max money. Yes, it's a small amount of money. But we can start repaying our loans. Then now we get a peace chief. I'm going to take this peace chief even though he kind of sucks. And I'm going to save scum with them and, you know, ooh, that was actually pretty good in terms of that. The big thing here is we need to click Unified Warbands. Now everyone will join our offensive wars. We took, Casqui's in the Federation, these guys aren't. So we're actually not going to face Casqui here, even though they're listed on this side, because they have to come in on our side. I know I talked about, same thing would be if I decide to go this way, which I may do during this war, after we kind of wipe these guys initially. But the main thing here is instead of doing the Humiliate Rival CB, and we no longer have the Native Humiliate against them because they settled the second province. But, you know, if I come here, these guys still only have one, so I have two different Humiliate CBs. And it's really just this Humiliate, not Humiliate Rival that you want to do. I'm going to declare on them after I set these as vital interest with the tribal war feud. Now that I'm a migratory tribe, I'd be able to take their land and it becomes tribal land, yes. Even if I didn't become a migratory tribe here, let's say you didn't want to kind of keep wiping things for prestige the way I did. Like if I didn't get the prestige from battles trait on that first guy, I just realized it wouldn't be there because I swapped rulers. I would not have done that. I would have just started the siege after I got my army tradition to 20. And which meant that, you know, maybe they didn't settle this and I'd be able to take 3 different tribal land provinces. Tribal land that's unsettled is much cheaper than the settled tribal land also. But we're going to declare this war. Casqui's not going to join them. It's going to be Abika, Chickasaw, and Pakaha. I'm going to try and set these two also to vital interest. When I declare this war, because of the way things are with their army size, I'm going to go north. I should have declared, like, now that we've gotten the 40 prestige, I don't mind scornfully insulting for the power projection. We are going to, like, one thing you can do here, because, you know, we can take so many loans, you could right away try to build this building and get advisors. But normally what I do is pay off this first set of loans and then just use the money that we get from these wars in order to fuel our economy. And we're going to be getting war reps from everyone we go against because the money, remember, is going to get split between all of these people. And yeah, let's go. And so here, I'm going to break alliances, take war rep and max money. We're not going to get all that much, but anything counts here. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a longer truce. Maybe it's not worth the money, but I'll take the ending alliances and war reps. From Pakaha, I will take this and max money, and they will no longer exist. Becomes my tribal land. Kaski. Sure. Like, we want to come here. We didn't get Hasanai, so that's good, actually. The main thing is technically you can invite whoever you want, but you need to have at some point a path, again, like I mentioned earlier, to get down here. Oh, yeah, I should actually just go ahead and declare this war now. I could humiliate, because, you know, I'm only taking one province. So I think I just want to show strength. The advantage of chaining wars here is that you don't black flag all of your allies the way you would do if you sign a final peace deal here. You can only pass Federation advancements when you're at peace. And so if you do want to get the tribal dev growth thing and other advancements there, you know, you will need to be at peace sometimes. So here, you know, they're our rival, but we're going to do this so we can take money in addition to showing strength. Then I'll sign this peace deal. Take war reps. And I'm getting 2 people back here just mainly because I don't want there to be a day passing that one of my people can leave. So show strength. We do have to click through this now. Oh no, I can shift left click. It didn't let me do that before. Doesn't increase our truce or anything. Only 3 ducats, but still. We get 100 of each PowerPoint, yeah. Yeah. So we're already doing, you know, we're 5 years into the game, not even, and we're getting ready to take the first round of Miltech. So I'm going to migrate here to start. This is actually pretty good profits. This is a little bit better even. Yeah, so this, I can't migrate here. This is a bug. I'm going to stop recording, come back at the same time. I want to submit this bug to Paradox. I've been meaning to do this and I haven't. I haven't replayed the natives here. So yeah, just give me a second. Okay, I just wanted to make a copy of that save to submit to Paradox. I guess I could have tried to invite more people. Well, you can actually do the kicking from Federation now. That was a bug last time. Nice. That opens up some things that we can do later. So if I'm here, I can declare on these guys. You know what I'm... I guess the question here is who we're actually declaring on. Chiska is with Chag and Hath. Joara. Is Joara in our group? No. So we'd be only really taking land from Chiska here. Kispoko is with the Cahokia guys, which I think, you know, actually Peoria is leading this. These guys often join a federation together. There's also a monument here, if you're not familiar with it. You should not migrate here for reasons we'll cover in a second. Essentially, if you migrate in and out of here, it's going to lower... Like, when we conquer this, it's going to lower it by 1. But if you migrate in, yes, you'll get this tribal dev growth, reduced devastation. But we're going to kind of be moving around in order to border people, extend our tribal land, as well as getting humiliate CBs. And so you're not going to stay here the way that Cahokia can stay here. Like, all these other guys are getting devastation the way that we generate devastation, like I did here. But if you migrate in and out, it lowers it again. And so if you want this to be level 1 when you become a step horde, I would suggest taking it and then never entering this province. Something I don't remember is if I migrate here, do I get the humiliate CB or tribal border CB on Cahokia? Because if I can do tribal border CB on Cahokia, so if I do it here on Kaskaskia, I'll be able to take these, but when I won't be able to separate piece these guys profitably. Likely what I would want to do is just take all of these here. So I'm going to try this, just see. Yeah, I do have the tribal border feud on Cahokia. Also, when you're in someone else's tribal land, you end up grazing faster. You see this here. Grazing giving us +1 or plus 0.1. I think normally it's like another 0.02. It's normally a very small amount. So I'm going to declare this tribal border feud on Cahokia. This will allow me to separate piece Kaskaskia for these provinces. Oh no, that's Miami. But I can do these maybe 2 or 3. Then I'll be able to separate piece Miami only for 1. Separate piecing Kispoko for 1. That's a little bit annoying. It's a little bit annoying. I can do Osage first. Yeah, I think I do Osage first. That lets me take these here, which will open up what I can take from Kispoko later. Got the war chief again. Kind of a I'm gonna ask some people for favors. So yeah, they'll still survive. So they're likely gonna just migrate. I'm gonna take the war reps. A ducat. Appoint the peace chief. 653. It's a pretty fucking amazing peace chief. Go ahead and make him a leader. And we want to... Well, one thing we want to trade for money. It's 2 ducats, but it is what it is. 11.35. So yeah, that was getting rounded off, right? I think we got like 2.5 ducats there. And the thing here is, where do we want to attack next? Except a little... This guy is renting his troops out to me. He declared war on Choctaw, but now Choctaw is sieging down his capital. And he's like, not moving back. I don't understand. The other thing about migrating into other people's land is you can only do it once every 5 years. And it's been a few years, but yeah. So I was thinking about doing Cahokia. Right? And that would allow me to take this, or these here. They'll probably migrate here. Then I take... I mean, what I would hope is they migrate... Oh, no, not here. Well, they might... It depends. I would hope they migrate here. That way I can take from Peoria these 2. Then I would be able to separate piece Miami for this one, if they move here. If they don't move here and they move here, then I can only take this and this, which is fine. Kispoko, though... Oh, Osage moved into this one. That's annoying. If someone who's not in the war is in this is someone else's tribal land like this, I won't be able to take this province, even the underlying tribal land. But I will be able to take Shadowrus and Kutawa from Kispoko. The other thing here is I don't have to separate piece out Peoria, because I'm not at war with Oniota. I feel like Oniota often gets involved in this federation here. And so, because tribal land is so cheap, I'll be able to take these 4, which might be better than taking just this 1 and then these 3. But I do want to take Cahokia, have a truce with all these people so they can't come into my land. Yeah, you know, the main thing here is, this is the war. Let's go. I'll just favor getting them the fuck out of here. Okay, they moved here. Certainly piece these guys out like this. I am going to favor that slightly shorter truce. Choctaw beat them. See, this is so bizarre. Why would you declare that war with your troops rented out and then let them siege you down? I don't understand. Okay, so we've taken a lot of tribal land. We want to declare our rival, and then think about what's next. Now, each one of these, like, I won't be able to take both of these provinces at once, so I'm probably going to need to do 2 wars against Nachioches here. No one to invite. I really don't want to lose any members. I am going to save scum here to try not to lose any members, but I'm going to first declare Nachioche as a rival so I get some extra PP from attacking them. Where I am now, I'm probably able to send another merchant here. Nachioches is with Hassanai. It's also allied to Choctaw and Cascade, but Cascade will be with me. We currently make 0.3. I'm gonna try to see whether or not people are gonna join. Cascade. And so Keski will join us as just Choctaw and Hassanai. I really want both of these, if I can. Which is not... Oh no, I can. I also want Avoyel. Avoyel is sort of the one that needs to be mine. Wait, no, not you. You. Oh, we got Birds of Prey because we have a bigger army than everyone. That's great. This one's kind of tough. You need to have... Anyone that you're at war with has a bigger army than you. By 150%. This is not just numbers. It needs to be their measured army strength, which I don't think you can see. And so if you end up getting more mill power than everyone else, or mill tech, it's going to be really hard to get this mission early on. It gives you power, and it gives you access to this mission, which is more power. The claims don't really all matter all that much. Like, this is a bunch of stuff, but... You know, when you look at this region here, a lot of this is going to be stuff that, as a horde, you can just take very easily. I'm going to do this with that 1,000 still on its way. I'm actually not even going to take, I think, war reps here. I want this truce to be as short as possible so I can keep trying to knock through this part of the map. And so right now, the question, of course, is who's next? Is it Chiska? Chiska is Hath. Like, do I want to go here? That way I could take a bunch of land from Hath. And Chag. If I take from Hath... No, there's a mountain here. Yeah, I think I want to migrate here. Yeah, humiliate war against Fox. We have enough to look at another ancestor here. I'm gonna take the discipline. It's really good right now. Okay, seems like these guys will give up for show strength. Yeah. Boom. For now. Do I want to go for the morale here? It's produce something that I may want to do later. Like, tech and idea cost are the best here. But I think I will go ahead and get the morale. Okay. Do we have another... Well, I guess now I feel more comfortable. Well, okay. No, I just read it wrong. 390 is not good enough. And we're gonna do tribal border feud here. Kof is not on their side actually. It's something I should have noticed last time. Okay, so you could save this mission until you can build like buildings that'll last for the game. You know, it's especially good with manufactories, but I'm gonna do it now so I can get started on building the ceremonial fire pit. We're also gonna be able to use that money, or that mission, to build the longhouse later on. And after we get the fire pit, then we'll hire advisors. I can tribal border feud Lenape. Especially after moving here and there with these guys. I think I will. It seems like a pretty... well, okay, yeah. Okay. December 62. So right now I'm kind of feeling trying to get a humiliate off maybe. But a lot of people are already transferring stuff to me. So Tuscaroa is here. I think I just want this as a humiliate war. Let's go. Yeah, let's go ahead. Land leader shot. And here we want to go ahead and migrate, I think, back down here. This is the price of migrating to take land, so you always want to do a couple of humiliate wars to make up for it. Alright, so I saved Scum mainly because this place I can't migrate here because of the bug. So I'm going to take a different route down here. Go around. I guess I could have done that if I was going this way. Yeah, I should have gone to here. Just wasted power. What I'm going to play around with here. Seeing what happens if I kick them from Federation. Normally, this does not create a truce. And yeah, they technically are allied to Wichita and Pawnee, but not really. And so this will be an easy war. Oh wait, they started a new one with Wichita? Okay, but I still have Kaskee in mind. And that's fine, because I can take from Wichita. This is actually perfectly fine. And we'll be able to get the reform progress building. Speed up our reform. Yes, we did need a new war chief. Thank you. And from now on, I think we're going to keep our tribal conquest stuff into the southwest. Hasanai Nachiochas. Yeah, sure. I also got the UI a la Artemis up and running again. If you don't know, if you have a UI mod that it can expand this ancestor window, you should use it. It lets you take more than 10 ancestors. And so, you know, instead of 10, you actually can take 30. Which basically is all the traits you're going to be able to want to get. And I'm thinking here whether or not I should get a new trait here, specifically this landing leader shock. And I'll go ahead and take it. For this one, the unrest doesn't really matter. And so I would go for extra Diplo to maybe ally someone, get them into the Federation. Diplomatic reputation also matters for that too. Settle costs will allow, like, it doesn't matter for us, but it's going to let our Federation members settle more. I'm going to move with the actual army over here. I'm not going to teleport over. We'll see what we can do here. I think this will be a bit better, so I don't have to worry on my next go around. I think I'm going to migrate. In the tribal land of Lipan, which is annoying. Okay, Owenge is with Navajo and Acoma. If I do Lipan, Apache, Isleta. Wait, but Lipan has Mescalero? Okay, yeah. It's certainly here. Alright, now I kind of want to take these mainly because, you know, there's a wonder here that's for Totemist, and it'll be nice to get that easily and not have to deal with migrating people later. And the other thing is, like, probably Lipan or Wichita will settle this province, and then that'll let me really get down here. So we're really well set up for where we want to be. And so I kind of want to just focus on Humiliate Wars to make sure that by the time we reach 85, we're at Tech 6 Mill, Tech 5 Admin. So I'm just going to look for easy Humiliate Wars. Cahokia being in my land kind of annoys me. I'm just going to go ahead and declare this as a Humiliate. This is 25k. If I declare here, it's 34k. Peoria is another option. 25k. I could declare these as, you know, tribal border feud, but I think Humiliate is where I want to be. And if Chichimeca wants to do this land, I think they may be my next target. I may migrate here and then go after them and try to take this land and make sure I have this border. Okay, I was meant to wait so I could ask for ducats, but it's fine. Next war. Anyone else we can show strength on? How about Fox? I just declare that humiliate war too. Sieging, of course. There we go. We're gonna take indigenous ideas. And so yeah, we just need to focus on mill. A few more humiliate wars will get us the show strengths we need to do this before 85. It's a little bit slower than I'd like, but partly the worst time to reform. We need to migrate here. And before these guys end up getting vassalized, I'm gonna come down here. Declare tribal border feud. Like this one, they could probably handle. Yeah. I think I'll do tribal border feud over here. The reason that I'm improving with, just gonna take this land here. It's pretty good for a peace chief. I'm gonna save scum that roll. The reason I was improving with these guys down here is because I want to share maps and get maps of Mexico. Eventually I'll do that. Hopefully Tanala's not at war with anyone. But I also should just see who I'm going to war with here. Zia is a possibility. Zia's with Apache. Apache we can take 3 provinces from. Zuni we can take 1 or 2 from. Mescalero we can take 1 from. So yeah, I think the idea here is tribal border feud against these guys. We'll take here. Is Zia the main target? They are. Can I get those maps in Mexico now? I may. And I'll have my thing without needing to migrate anymore. And another humiliate war would be nice to do first. Yeah, let's just get this on as a humiliate. So we could wait here, finish up this war, maybe migrate out of this province somewhere else, but this will let us keep all our land connected. We don't actually have this as tribal land, and we'd rather have everything connected. So I'm going to go ahead and become a horde. Boom. I don't know if any of these are new for this patch. It looks like there's some new ones that once we get down there. Religious unity, tribal warfare, these are new. I feel like there should be a native one here. Artillery cost, artillery barrage. I think it's this one, right? Oh, we no longer get all of them anymore? With the extra level, we no longer get to complete it automatically. That's fine. The main thing is we're still a horde. The other thing I would suggest you do here... Oh, crap, 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 crap. I meant to stop the music, but not do that. Is we have our capital here. I would suggest going ahead and def pushing here. Feudalism. Really? How much do we need? 112. I would save the improved capital until we can move it. I am also not gonna right away state everything, mainly because remember that your acceptance of an institution depends on autonomy. And so I'm not gonna state, we get all of this as full state once we actually full state it, but it'll be better if we just wait a second until we can get the points that we need. The other thing was here. I don't want to do that. 2 privileges granted to the tribes. I was going to do that anyway. This costs crown land, but it increases religious unity. I do want larger tribal hosts. Share the spoils is fine. Tribe land rights is fine. Because I don't really care about the heirs too much. I want us to rest above 50. We're not really in the steppes. I guess autonomy of the tribes, even though we lost crown land from that. And may as well just do greater autonomy for the chieftains. Keep it high. Get that manpower recovery speed. This does change our tech group. Weirdly enough. And no one's a rifle anymore. Yep, so we instantly get all these maps. Transoxiana, nice. Oirat's doing well here, it seems like. But we're gonna get ready to go to Mexico next. That's our goal. After we just finish up this war. Oh wait, yeah, we probably got the, we need it here. So we can go ahead and embrace that, then now we'll state everything up. If you're planning to culture shift to Aztec, that's totally a valid method, and then you can save all these full states until then. But I'm just gonna keep... Natchez as a primary culture. I don't know how long I'm gonna keep the save. I'm probably gonna actually cut all this out. I was supposed to, I was supposed to make a backup save before. Hold on. Alright, it's been actually a few months since we've become a horde. I was filming when I clicked the button, but I didn't really think to stop since I was in the middle of the war. But I just kind of want to take stock of where we are after embracing feudalism. And actually full stating everything. Also, after this war, I'll kind of show you what I suggest you do. Take that off. Ship trade power. The big thing that I'm going to suggest is that... Oh. So please just go down. It's a decent chunk of change. The other thing I want to do here is just make people into tributaries, and we're going to take manpower from all these tributaries in the north. And you could, like, the thing is, you can expand up here, but it's kind of annoying to do so. And we really want to get our, you know, Horde unity up, get our country up and rolling. So the way we're going to do that is invading Mexico and raising everything to catch up on tech. And that'll give us a good power base as well. But we're going to want to get manpower. Yes, I just hired a bunch of mercenaries. But these are really just going to be for sieges and making sure we can still build up manpower while we invade Mexico. I'm not going to make Seneca one because this is actually a pretty easy war to get us into the Iroquois. That is going to be pretty profitable. I'm going to do this one. Well, okay, so if I do this one, who am I declaring war on first? Let's say we co-belligerize the Aztecs. I can't co-belligerize anyone is the issue. It doesn't let me properly co-belligerize people. So I'm kind of leaning towards this way. Tlaxcala, Coix, Colima, Tlapanek, Coix, there's Tlapanek, it calls in Teotihuacan. This is what I want here to start. I'll make 2 vassals and be able to core off of them. But for the most part, this will set me up to be able to core most of what I'm looking to take in here. Tonala is not included, and so decent chance I can get maps of eastern Mexico as well. Let's go. So this is going to just set us up pretty nicely to get all the manpower we need to really finish all this up, delete the mercenaries when we want to. I'm just going to go down to speed 4 here, and otherwise I'm just chilling, man. Just chilling.